Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it, to the point where this guy was in the basement at his own movie's premiere. And that what in fact happened was you guys were the ones out there generating negative press against Justin. You guys were the ones who were trying to ruin Justin at the Reynolds penthouse in Manhattan, where Ryan Reynolds allegedly bullied Justin so badly that a Sony representative, and her biggest takeaway was it was so nasty. And now you see text messages from Blake Lively comparing herself. She's the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. What Brian Friedman alleges is, and that they are powerful advocates for her. You'll go along or I'll unleash my dragons on you, you loser who no one's ever heard of.
The kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, documents, which prove exactly what she did to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. And we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Hey fam, it's Madison here, back with your latest dose of Hollywood hullabaloo. And let me tell you, this one's a real doozy. Remember how we all jumped up and down when they announced that It Ends With Us, that heart-wrenching novel everyone's aunt recommended, was getting the big screen treatment? Yeah, well, it's here. It's out, and the reception has been chillier than an iced latte on a winter morning. We're talking scathing reviews, a disastrous box office performance, and enough behind-the-scenes drama to keep TMZ in headlines for the next century. And oh honey, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Because the film's director, Justin Baldoni, and its star, Blake Lively, have decided to treat us to a spectacular showdown of lawsuits, countersuits, canceled gag orders, and potential jail time. Yes, you read that right. Jail time. So how in the name of Lana Del Rey's entire discography did we get here? Grab your popcorn, fluff up those throw pillows, and buckle up. Because this roller coaster features comedic rewrites, sensational websites, and an alleged New York Times hit piece that's got some folks screaming, "Smear campaign," while others are shrieking, "He's overbearing."
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. Wait till you see this lawsuit.
Oh boy.
Oh, and rumor has it Ryan Reynolds might have some cameo role in this fiasco, even if his name hasn't been splashed across the lawsuits yet, because of course he does. Welcome to the It Ends With Us meltdown, babes. Let's dive in. Once upon a time, read a few years ago, It Ends With Us was the novel everyone was passing around like a secret. Emotional, raw, and basically a punch to the gut, it soared to bestseller status. Then Hollywood came knocking, as Hollywood does. Enter Justin Baldoni, a director known for his oh-so-substantial approach to heavy topics. And stepping into the leading role, none other than the queen of curated Instagram posts, Miss Blake Lively. On paper, it sounded like a match made in cinematic heaven. Emotional storyline, heartfelt director, and a star whose stout game has overshadowed actual acting in the best way possible. Fans were thrilled. Critics were intrigued. The hype machine started churning out promos, behind-the-scenes leaks, and the occasional vague interview quote about staying true to the source material. What we didn't see coming, that behind that sunny curtain, the cast and crew were knee-deep in comedic rewrites, creative tantrums, and, brace yourselves, a boatload of legal documents.
Baldoni is going on the offensive. He just launched a website containing 168 pages of documents and text.
Because of course they were. Let's start with the basics. It Ends With Us is no breezy rom-com. It's about heartbreak, resilience, big emotional arcs. One might say the opposite of comedic fluff. So when word got out that Blake was pushing for comedic tweaks, with or without a wink from her comedic hubby, Ryan Reynolds, fans of the novel were like, hold up, are we missing something here? Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni was said to be aiming for a faithful adaptation, complete with gut-wrenching intensity and nuanced performances that make you ugly cry in the theater. Tensions apparently rose. Rumor has it that Baldoni told Lively, "We are not filming Gossip Girl: The Reunion, so cut it out," while she allegedly countered, "Dude, lighten up."
There's just so much more to the story, and the media's already like self-flagellating. Oh, we were too mean to Blake. And now you see text messages from Blake Lively comparing herself. She's the mother of dragons in Game of Thrones, that she too has her dragons, Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift.
That's the mild version. Reality might have been even juicier, but that's the gist. He wanted unfiltered rawness. She wanted mainstream sass. Creative differences are normal in Tinseltown, but these two took it to the next level. And boy, are we paying for it with a never-ending stream of tabloid updates. Fans started citing the production when early set photos leaked. Instead of battered sweatshirts and a vibe worthy of a serious drama, we saw Blake in high-fashion ensembles that looked more Sex and the City than gritty emotional piece. I mean, I love a good stylized outfit, but the internet was quick to say, this doesn't scream heartbreak, babes. Then, rumors flew about comedic lines being shoehorned into crucial scenes. The novel's fan base basically had a collective meltdown. Wait, we wanted soul-crushing tears, not punchlines. Predictably, Justin Baldoni insisted on toning down the laughter. Lively, on the other hand, seemed to find comedic relief vital. Something about broadening the movie's appeal. Round one of the creative battle had begun.
What Brian Friedman alleges is, and that they are powerful advocates for her. You'll go along or I'll unleash my dragons on you, you loser who no one's ever heard of.
I can't believe neither side is like giving in. They're like digging in further.
We all know that in Hollywood, you can fight about everything from lighting setups to lunch breaks. But comedic rewrites are rarely a reason for nuclear war. Except, apparently, this time they were. You'd think these two would just grin, bear it, and soldier on through the movie's promo cycle, right? Surprise! Just before release day, the internet caught fire with news that Justin Baldoni sued Blake Lively for defamation. And not just any defamation, massive claims about her spreading rumors that he's some kind of tyrant on set. He said those alleged tall tales sank the film's prospects before it even had a chance. Because if there's one thing that kills box office mojo, it's a star calling the director impossible and controlling in the tabloids. Baldoni apparently took that as a direct hit on his brand and the movie's fate. So he went all, I'll see you in court. Celebrity defamation suits aren't new, but the ferocity here caught everyone off guard. Then, in true Hollywood one-upmanship, Blake countersued. She alleged he bullied her, restricting her from tapping into the comedic genius she believed was essential for the role, and basically stifling her performance. Result? An official defamation versus bullying cage match that overshadowed the actual film. Because who needs to talk about the storyline when we can talk about lawsuits?
Ryan Reynolds comes off terribly. He had them over to their penthouse in New York, and Taylor Swift was believed to be there, according to this latest complaint, who's Blake Lively's BFF. And what they allege is that they blacked out a lot of names, but we think it's Taylor, that the three of them sat there and they berated Justin for things that were going on the set that they didn't like. They took control of the script. Blake personally, with Ryan's help, rewrote scenes. Again, not within the purview of an actress. And then after that, they have text messages in which Blake tells Justin, this is in the latest lawsuit, I know you've never watched Game of Thrones, but when you get around to watching it, you'll realize I'm Khaleesi and these are my dragons. And I have the best dragons in the business, right? Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift. And what they're alleging is that, let's face it, none of us has ever heard of Justin Baldoni before this whole thing. I mean, who the hell is he? I guess he's in some small thing I never saw. But she's saying, F with me and we'll crush you. My dragons and I, the biggest movie star, one of them in the planet, the biggest pop star in the planet, and I will hurt you.
Let's be real. The film hits theaters and critics are not gentle. They tear it apart for lacking emotional consistency, turning heartbreak sequences into comedic sketch territory that left viewers confused rather than moved. A few big publications trashed it, calling it tonally incoherent and shockingly awkward. One major reviewer even said, if you like your gut-wrenching drama served with random punchlines, this is the film for you. Box office numbers? Let's just say they were so underwhelming the studio might as well have served an apology note with every ticket stub. So, was the film's demise purely because of comedic meddling? Or did the incessant drama overshadow any chance of a successful release? The consensus from fans and critics alike, yes, possibly both. Of course, the negative press only fanned the flames of the Baldoni-Lively feud. Each side took the flop as proof they were right all along. See, the comedic stuff killed us from Team Baldoni. No, the negative vibe killed us from Team Lively. And so the cycle continues. Amid the swirling accusations, someone, pretty reliably rumored to be from Blake's camp, apparently begged the court for a gag order. You know that legal muzzle to keep the dirty laundry behind closed doors? Typically in these celeb cases, a gag order can halt the public meltdown and push everything into quiet negotiations. But the judge gave it a big fat nope, which means the door is wide open for more trash talk, leaked screenshots, and daily sound bites in the tabloids. It's basically the court saying, we're not stopping you from verbally dropkicking each other. Carry on. And oh boy, carry on they did. Now the tabloids are feasting on every new revelation, fueling a spectacle that's overshadowed any hope of the film regaining dignity. Meanwhile, the fans are left sipping their tea with a mix of fascination and dismay. If the lawsuits and a catastrophic release weren't enough, Justin Baldoni decided to go extra and launched a brand new website devoted entirely to the drama. Think of it like a digital courtroom where he's presenting his side of the story for everyone to see. Text messages, behind the scenes production notes, emails that might make you cringe. He's posted them all. One screenshot reportedly shows Blake urging comedic lines in a scene that's supposed to be heartbreak central. Another suggests she retracted her comedic push once fans started freaking out over early leaks. It's the kind of stuff that, if authentic, certainly hints that Lively was flip-flopping to save face with outraged novel purists. Critics have slammed Baldoni's website of truth as a PR stunt, but Team Baldoni claims it's all about transparency, baby. Like shining a floodlight on what they call Blake's manipulations. He's basically telling the public, judge for yourself. And oh, the public is definitely eating it up, dissecting each piece of evidence like CSI Hollywood. As if this fiasco needed more fireworks, enter the New York Times with a feature article that apparently leans heavily toward Blake's account, painting Baldoni as a controlling menace who overshadowed a poor, helpless actress. Baldoni's side says this piece is basically a character assassination job, cherry-picking from the fiasco to craft the narrative that he's the baddie. His fans are raging on social media, calling it biased journalism and selective quoting. Baldoni's legal camp even hinted that the Times might have been fed a partial story from Lively's camp, though of course the Times hasn't confirmed that. Regardless, the piece unleashed a fresh wave of public outcry. People who had been on the fence about the drama suddenly jumped on the Justin is a meanie train. Meanwhile, Baldoni supporters are yelling, wait, check the receipts on that website. But in the dizzying swirl of he said, she said, people either don't have the time or the patience to comb through gigabytes of leaked data. Instead, they're taking sides faster than the comment section on a Kardashian post. Now, as if defamation suits and a messy box office bomb weren't enough, we've got the juiciest rumor yet. Blake Lively might face jail time. Yes, folks, we have officially left Planet Rational. The scuttlebutt says she or her team might have doctored evidence in her countersuit. If true, and we're talking if, she could be looking at perjury or obstruction charges. Cue the 5 years in the slammer headlines, which, let's be real, might be overkill. Most legal experts say that, if anything, a short probation or a fine is more realistic. But hey, who are we to deny the tabloids their sensational headlines? The moment Blake Lively and prison time share the same sentence, you can practically hear the internet's jaw drop. Baldoni's side isn't outright confirming they'll push criminal charges, but they're not ruling it out either. For now, it's mostly hush-hush. Even so, the rumor is enough to light up social media like a Christmas tree. Everyone's suddenly a legal scholar, analyzing whether the text messages on that website are doctored or if the evidence Lively submitted might be altered. It's basically a giant game of who's telling the truth, because this story wouldn't be complete without Ryan Reynolds. According to whispers, Blake looked to her comedic powerhouse hubby for suggestions, which might be how the comedic elements found their way into the script in the first place. Then once fans revolted at the comedic leaks, references to Reynolds supposedly vanished faster than a magician's rabbit. Could Ryan get dragged into court as a witness? Possibly. Maybe he'll have to testify about that harmless comedic flair he supposedly encouraged. Maybe not. For now, he's on the sidelines, presumably sipping aviation gin and trying to pretend he's not hearing any of this. But you know how Hollywood loves a cameo. Don't be surprised if his name pops up in a subpoena one day. Let's not forget the actual novel's fan base, who are arguably the biggest losers here. They wanted tears, heartbreak, and some big Oscar-worthy performances. Instead, they got comedic punchlines, a flop film, and a never-ending cycle of lawsuits that overshadow any message the story might have had. Die-hard readers are bummed that It Ends With Us may now be forever tainted by the spectacle, because once a piece of fiction hits the big screen, that adaptation's success or failure often redefines how people remember the source material. And right now, the memory looks bleak. A swirling storm of comedic misfires, lawsuit drama, and enough negativity to fill an entire talk show season. So, is there any scenario in which we get a tearful apology and a partial redemption for this cinematic dumpster fire? Will we see a hush-hush settlement that quietly ties up the lawsuits before they escalate into an all-out Law & Order Hollywood edition fiasco? Possibly. But the longer these two go at each other's throats, the more the public invests in the outcome. Odds are we'll see more sensational reveals before any heartfelt handshake. Both sides appear hell-bent on proving the other is the big bad. In the meantime, the film's flop status is sealed, the lawsuits are growing in complexity, and the possibility of criminal charges, real or clickbait, looms over everything like a storm cloud. If there's a moral to this meltdown, it's that mixing big egos, big novels, and comedic rewrites can lead to a recipe for disaster. This project was supposed to be a heartfelt adaptation. Instead, it's a full-on circus, complete with court transcripts instead of cotton candy. Hollywood might be the land of second chances, but It Ends With Us is shaping up to be the film that's forever remembered more for its off-camera drama than anything we see in the final cut. And that, my friends, might be the biggest tragedy of all. All right, I've spilled the tea, the coffee, and probably a little rosé. Now I want to hear from you. Did the New York Times really go too far with its so-called smear campaign? Or is Justin Baldoni just being exposed for controlling directorial style? Will we actually see Blake Lively in an orange jumpsuit if the rumored doctored evidence proves real? And is there a sliver of hope that someone, anyone, can salvage the novel's legacy from this fiasco? Hit up the comments with your hottest takes, theories, and conspiracies. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, because trust me, babes, this Hollywood roller coaster isn't slowing down anytime soon. I'm Madison, signing off, but let's be real, I'll probably be back tomorrow when the next bombshell drops. Stay messy, stay blessed, and I'll catch you on the next scandalous update.